Alright, today I want to do things a little bit differently, and that means another conspiracy theory. Right now, everyone's talking about Twitter, Elon Musk, and the potential buyout, myself included, but within that discussion, I stumbled upon something that I find to be far more interesting than the surface level discussion about free speech and whether or not having another billionaire owning another chunk of the social media landscape is good or bad purely because of their perceived political intentions. That kind of thing gets clicks, it does, but within the confines of that same topic, there is an entirely separate angle that I want to discuss because the benefits of this deal to Elon Musk seem to go far beyond the simple idea of corporate ownership. In my opinion, this deal has killed, perhaps multiple birds with the very same stone, and rather than focusing on the surface level public reaction, though it is in itself rather fascinating, I want to look at some of the hidden benefits as a result of the purchase, the speculative purchase I might add, because there are many. First things first, we need to understand one key factor of this deal. Keep in mind, whether or not the deal actually closes doesn't matter in all this because these upside benefits are already in motion or have already been completed. Perhaps Elon Musk truly wants the deal to go through, perhaps not, but he has already benefited from this in its entirety in rather obscure ways, so keep that in mind. The key thing to understand is that the deal itself is pegged to Elon Musk's own repository of Tesla stock. He is simultaneously using that stock as collateral for bank loans and selling stock for liquid cash. Immediately after the potential buyout was initially announced, exploding across traditional media in the process, Musk began selling stock in Tesla. First came about $4 billion in sales on the 26th of April, followed by a tweet saying that there were no more sales planned after today, on Thursday the 28th. However, no more sales after today means including that day, and it turned out that there had been another $4 billion worth, give or take, sold on the 28th. This can be interpreted in a variety of ways. First, he is selling stock in Tesla to finance the intended purchase of Twitter, or to raise capital, generally speaking, in that effort. But a second way to interpret these events is rather different. Let me explain. First things first, this deal contains certain precautions in the event of a breakup. If the deal falls through, there is a $1 billion penalty for the party responsible. If Elon Musk backs away right now, or at any point in the future before completion, he will be required to pay $1 billion for what's called a termination fee. Likewise, if Twitter is responsible for the breakup, they will do the same, and this is a fairly common tactic in large acquisitions to protect the time and effort of parties involved. Knowing this, it would seem counterintuitive for either party to tank the deal intentionally, but what if I told you that this termination fee has benefits? Termination fees are not a rigidly defined item by the IRS. However, over the past 5 to 7 years, there have been case law examples and various interpretations that give a decent picture on how these fees can be utilized. For starters, termination fees can be broken down into two separate categories: capital expenditures and deductions. Here's an example. If you are buying Twitter for $44 billion with a $1 billion termination fee, but suddenly Mark Zuckerberg calls and you can buy all of Facebook, as a random example, for a reasonable price, that seems like a deal worth taking. You would reasonably have cause to terminate the contract, the existing deal, and pursue a better option. In that case, your loss of $1 billion as a result of the termination is capital in nature. I'm not a lawyer, by the way. Please do correct me if I'm doing things wrong down below in the comments. I'll highlight and pin any comment that contains a quality description of all this. I really will. But anyways, if you terminate the deal, as per my understanding, in order to prioritize a better opportunity, your $1 billion loss is a capital loss. This means that it can be written off against your capital gains, profit gained from stock sales or specific other income streams, which are taxed quite heavily, but it cannot be used as a deduction. However, from what I understand and from what I have read, if you do not pursue a better, more deserving acquisition, if the deal falls through with no secondary prospect, it can be a deduction which then balances against your income for the year. For most people, this would be a better option, but with the IRS seemingly favoring capital losses on breakup fees, the likely scenario is that if Elon Musk were to terminate this deal, he would incur a $1 billion capital loss deduction, which might then be balanced directly against the capital gains of the stock he just sold. Now, it may seem completely ludicrous that anyone would ever want to incur a $1 billion penalty on any transaction, but let's lean into the title here and theorize why it might be of benefit. Elon Musk was able to sell $8 billion worth of Tesla stock while the price is astronomically high. It would be an incredibly long video if I tried to summarize why I personally believe that Tesla stock is radically overvalued to the point of complete insanity, but maybe as a short form explanation, this graphic will help showcase kind of what I mean. Tesla is actually viewed by some analysts to be overvalued by $1 trillion with a T. That's a nearly unimaginable amount of money. And without devolving into an explanation of just how many cars they have had to recall, the number is unbelievably high, or how insane it is to have that kind of market cap with such low comparative revenue, I would assert that the stock is wildly overpriced in the extreme. Taking all of this into consideration, I would like to speculate that it may be possible, even if unlikely, that Elon Musk has used this transaction to plausibly sell $8 billion of Tesla stock at or near the top of its overinflated price action, with the intention to incur, if unavoidable, a $1 billion capital loss from the termination fee, which then turns right around and balances against the capital gains he just made from the sale that was just executed. And all of this under the pretext of financing the purchase, therefore avoiding all of the panic and speculation that would ensue if he simply sold that kind of volume out of nowhere. After all, he has an image to maintain. In 2013, he notoriously stated that just as his money would be the first in, it would also be the last out. But selling for the purpose of a monumental acquisition in the defense of freedom of speech, well, his fans are much more likely to understand why that is happening instead of just unexplained selling to the tune of billions. That's item number one. Item number two, in my opinion, is even more interesting because, believe it or not, it ties into the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial that is happening right now. To understand this one, we need to loosely explain what the trial is even about. Amber Heard, famous movie star and actress in the Aquaman film series, in 2018 published an op-ed in the Washington Post titled, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," end quote. Now, I won't speak to the legality of all this, but from what I can see, this resulted in alleged damage to Johnny Depp's career, including the loss of significant acting roles, and he is now taking her to court for defamation. The case is messy, complicated, and completely bizarre. I'll avoid offering my own opinions or bias as much as possible here, though they might seep through a little bit, but it contains everything from counterclaims of abuse, where Depp alleges that Amber Heard severed the tip of his finger, threw things at him, hit him, and even shat in his bed. However, one of the key factors on both sides of it all, this is the most important part, is drug and alcohol usage. There are multiple prescription and illegal drugs that were used, referenced, documented, and more as the search and discovery phase of the lawsuit unfolded, which by itself might seem obvious and inconsequential, but one more thing came out, and as of yet has not been fully explored. It may never be fully explored, but as it stands, there are questions. That thing is a relationship between Amber Heard and Elon Musk. Elon Musk was actually named as a potential witness in this trial, but as it stands, he seems unlikely to testify. Amber Heard had dated Elon Musk in 2017, on again, off again, and a little bit in 2018, during the aftermath of her breakup with Johnny Depp. And in various email correspondence, it seems to be the case that she was leading him on and did not actually care for him. Now, why would this matter? In order to explain, we have to go back in time and remember a series of events that unfolded in 2018. In August and September of 2018, a flurry of news articles hit the scene in which speculation as to Elon Musk's drug habits ran amok. The billionaire admitted to taking sleeping pills, working insane hours per week, and even had a bit of a scandal when he smoked marijuana on Joe Rogan's podcast, which resulted in the share price of Tesla stock falling rather dramatically. It turned out that board members, allegedly, of Tesla had skepticism and fear about Musk's usage of the drug Ambien. And whether or not this is to be believed is up to the individual, but rapper Azealia Banks reported that Musk was high on LSD at the time of his tweets about taking Tesla private, which resulted in an SEC lawsuit, which he lost, by the way. That's another important item, but we'll come back to that later on. So in 2018, after a relationship with Amber Heard during and around 2017 into 2018, Elon Musk faces scrutiny over potential drug use, which affected the share price of Tesla, and Amber Heard admits, now enshrined in court document evidence, to her own altered behavior while on the drug Ambien. Coincidence? Quite possibly, but let's get even stranger. I'll do my best to keep all of this organized and summarize at key intervals, but just be aware it's a bit of a ride. In late 2021, November and December, a whistleblower came forward, prompting an SEC investigation into Tesla over allegations of safety violations and failure to disclose certain defects in specific solar panels. In response, Elon Musk decided to weaponize SEO, search engine optimization, and his method for doing this was to tweet out the following, quote, "Blow the whistle on Tesla with a new product, the Cyber Whistle, which was created as a limited edition item." It's difficult to demonstrate now, but the effect of this was pretty straightforward. Elon Musk immediately dominated the keywords whistle, blow, and Tesla, while an absolute deluge of articles came out about this new bizarre product offering. Most importantly, he did this a full week before news of the whistleblower and subsequent lawsuit actually came out, and even when certain articles were written about this being his exact goal in the first place, the effects remained, and the topic of Tesla whistleblower became a hell of a lot harder to dig through for common people. So why does it matter? It matters when you look at another set of tweets, more recently, that were posted right after the media frenzy over the potential Twitter deal initially kicked off, aimed at Coca-Cola. Musk tweeted on April 27th, "Next, I'm going to buy Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in it," and followed this up with another tweet tagging the company afterwards. The thing is, Coca-Cola has a market cap of $272 billion right now. There is no shot in hell that Elon Musk could ever buy it, but what if there was another explanation? What if, rather than a serious statement about an acquisition, or even a meme, this was a premeditated SEO domination effort, like he had done in the past, to get ahead of what may come out in the Amber Heard-Johnny Depp lawsuit? Remember, this lawsuit contains heavy references to drugs and alcohol, heavy usage, heavy effects, etc., and Elon Musk was dating Amber Heard in 2017 and beyond, even being named as a possible witness in the case. There is a history of negative stock price movement when Elon Musk is embroiled in possible drug use controversy, and suddenly, as all of this unfolds, having done the very same thing in the past against a whistleblower, actually not even that long ago in the past, he starts tweeting about how he will buy a company he can't buy to put cocaine in the product, and overruns the Google search terms for anything having to do with the topic. Elon Musk and cocaine. You will get one result and one result only. I wonder. Now, as if this wasn't already bizarre enough, there's more. As recent as April 2022, during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard lawsuit, there is even more information still trickling out regarding a previous lawsuit against Elon Musk and Tesla when he claimed to be able to take Tesla private at $420 a share. The saga begins in 2018 and continued on, ultimately resulting in his removal as CEO of Tesla by the SEC. This lawsuit became known as the funding secured lawsuit, generally speaking for most people, and until just recently, that was what you would find if you Googled funding secured and Elon Musk. Yeah, not anymore. If you Google the term funding secured Elon Musk now, you will find nothing but mentions. Well, you'll find the other stuff, but it's way far down the list. Mostly, it's just mentions about how the billionaire has secured funding for his purchase of Twitter, even though literally new revelations such as correspondence between Musk and Saudi Arabian investment funds are just now surfacing. Elon Musk cares about the share price of Tesla. He has a long-standing hatred of anyone who shorts the stock, thus intending to profit from its decline, and even appears to confront other billionaires if they open or maintain that kind of position, such as the private text messages that leaked in which Musk was quizzing Bill Gates about whether or not he still has a short position on the stock. Ask yourself, is it possible that in one single masterstroke, Elon Musk liquidated $8 billion in equity for a company that, in my opinion, is at or near its peak and is probably going to crash in value, under a plausible excuse, possibly secured a $1 billion capital gains deduction if the deal falls through, created the pretext to bury a long-standing thorn in his side by dominating the keywords, the Google search, funding secured, and front-ran the potential for documents to emerge in a lawsuit he is undeniably connected to, however thin that line might be, which involves heavy emphasis on drug usage, by also dominating the search terms Elon Musk and cocaine. Is it possible? Keep in mind the dates of all this. Confronting Bill Gates, that happened in April of 2022. New info about his previous lawsuit with the SEC over funding secured, April of 2022. The deal with Twitter exploding to the front of media attention in the first place, April of 2022. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp lawsuit, April of 2022. But when was Elon Musk originally tweeting things that created a lot of these problems, such as the SEC lawsuit that lost him his position as CEO of Tesla? 2018. His relationship with Amber Heard, on again, off again, but timed together in 2018. Run-ins with public controversy over suspected drug use, 2018. His own board being nervous about Ambien usage, a drug Amber Heard is now on the record as using heavily during her altercations with Johnny Depp, 2018. And the list goes on. As per Reuters, most recently, Elon Musk is now seeking to put less of his own money into the Twitter deal, meaning that he has successfully liquidated stock in Tesla and perhaps does not even intend to use it for Twitter, even if the deal does go through. I cannot speak with certainty here, but the web of connections is very, very large, and like I said in the beginning, I honestly just have fun making this kind of video. In the end, I really don't know what the truth is, but all of it combined is a bizarre and interesting chain of events that made me want to do a video with another conspiracy theory as the title. But that's it. If you want to support, please consider checking out Patreon or Locals. It's a flat fee per month to offset the volatility of YouTube. If you watch this far, you are probably the most willing to consider doing that, so the links are down below in the description. There's also a YouTube platform alternative called Odyssey. All of my content is there for free. There is merchandise, right? Another creator to check out, social media, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. It's long enough already. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.